Hello and welcome to Where's the Bandwagon? My name's Will and sat alongside me is Ty.
Hello.
And we're going to be talking movies and sports and games and pop culture as we try and find out where the bandwagon is, see what people are jumping on and talking about. However, we're not very good at it, are we? Because the thing we're looking at today came out in August 2020. It's just that you just don't keep up with stuff, really.
No, I really don't keep up with stuff in terms of films and general TV. Maybe from series, but that's about it.
Yeah, well, as you probably guessed by the title, Ty is going to be reacting to the Batman trailer, which came out in 2020 August for the DC fandome. Again, what Batman films have you seen again? You haven't seen any of Ben Affleck's, have you?
No, I don't think I have actually. I've only seen The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
I know, that's one thing that killed me inside. That you haven't watched Batman Begins, which is the start of that trilogy.
But I think most people might agree with me that The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises are two of the best Batman.
That's kind of redundant when you haven't seen the first one to compare it to, but we'll see. I personally have seen all of The Dark Knight Rises. I've seen some of the Ben Affleck. I've seen Man of Steel, and then obviously he's not in that one, but he's in Batman vs Superman and the kind of universe they tried to create with DC, which kind of to rival Marvel MCU, but I think it's fair to say Marvel blew them out of the water. And so you don't actually know who the new Batman is, by the way, which blows my mind because it was all over the news when it was released. Any ideas who you think the new Batman is? I say the new Batman. He's been Batman for about a year now, but
I wouldn't have a clue, mate. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would.
It surprised me when I first heard about it. It's Robert Pattison, guy from Twilight and Harry Potter and the new Christopher Nolan Tenet film.
I think I know who you're on about.
I think
get me an image of it.
Know who
Get me
yeah. We're just getting a Pattinson. Yeah, him.
Oh,
so very pretty boy. But he's been in a lot of things when he was younger, which makes people, associate him with being, that kind of teenager. He's definitely got Twilight.
He's got a jawline for Batman to fit the mask.
Exactly. Well, I imagine the mask could probably fit regardless. They don't get around him, but so a lot of. Well, I'll talk about this afterward. But the issue that a lot of people had is I recently have started reading the Batman comics, but before this, obviously, people were a bit worried because he's quite a slender guy. He's fit in terms of he's not a big guy, but he's not big. And Batman traditionally is big.
Yeah,
he's a big guy. So we'll have to see it now. What we're going to do in this podcast, by the way, is we're going to watch the Batman trailer, as we say. Initial reactions from you. Then we're going to rewatch it, just talking about it over the top. And then we've got an article up here, which is everything we know about the Batman so far, which is written in March. So very close to us recording this podcast. And we're just going to go through it and build a little bit of hype, see how you're feeling. See at the end of the podcast whether you want to watch this film or whether...
it's going to get me ready for August. Is it August?
It was originally... So here's the thing before going into this trailer. This film was heavily delayed because of COVID. Yeah. Obviously, like most things. When this trailer came out, the director had said that only 25% of the film had been shot, which makes it feel like a lot of the trailer was heavily influenced by the fact that they'd only shot a quarter of the film.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, and then filming had carried on. I don't know if it's actually finished filming yet, but it is due to be released in autumn 2021, end of the year.
Okay.
That may have been delayed. So now we're going to go and watch the trailer for the Batman. So that was the Batman trailer.
Jesus Christ!
Well, initial thoughts, go. What's that?
Wow, I'm looking forward to that now.
Yeah,
I'm so looking forward to that. I feel like it's gonna be. I feel like with Batman, I've always fallen in love with the villains.
Yeah.
I always have, and I feel like from watching this, I feel like it'll be the case again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I first watched this, I was like, holy, I want to watch this right now. Like, if this came out right, I would pay money to go and see this now. Yeah. What are your thoughts about just the whole overall trailer rather than the film? It's quite dark.
It is very dark.
We'll watch it again in a minute, but the early shots are just a serial killer wrapping some guy's face in dark tape. So
it's very dark. And like, I think I heard him say like, "You want to play a game?" It's not like linked to like the dark sinisterness of is it the Saw movies as well?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. My mind went to Saw. I haven't seen anyone else say about that, but my mind honestly went to the Saw movies when I first watched it. I don't know if you know much about Batman in terms of the background, but you know there's a villain called the Riddler. So he basically, as you can guess by the name, he puts up riddles and clues, and this does look more like a mystery type thing. And when we watch it again, you'll see when he's reading out the card that's left by the serial killer, there's like symbols on it, and he reads a riddle.
Okay.
Jeffrey Wright, do you know who that is? The guy at the beginning who plays Gordon. I'll show you him now when we just go through the trailer. That guy.
Big guy, yeah.
Okay, he's Jeffrey Wright. He's one of my favourite actors. He's in Westworld and James Bond. He is playing Gordon.
Yeah.
So he was played by, in the Dark Knight ones that you've seen, that's played by Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
When he's reading out in the beginning, he's reading out a riddle. So people have guessed that, you know.
Oh, okay.
And, the character of the Riddler has been cast officially. So we know he's going to be in this. But there are other villains that are going to be in this that have been cast already. Andy Farrell. He's going to be the Penguin.
Okay.
In it. And Andy Serkis.
Ooh. I didn't know that.
I'm looking forward to we'll go through the article in a minute,
now.
which is...
I just thought it was going to be another one of like, you know, just one villain, and then you get a bit more insight to that villain. Well, I think that's why I like The Dark Knight Rises so much. You get to understand Bane's character. Yeah, exactly. And the Christopher Nolan trilogy, which is the ones you've seen 2 of the 3, that's the Dark Knight trilogy. That's such a good wrapped up trilogy. You know, the whole point is that Batman obviously wants to save Gotham, and at the end he does at the end, and everything's wrapped up, and it's such a fantastic trilogy. With this one, obviously, this is opening a new chapter, completely new. And I say we'll watch it again. We'll watch it, and we'll be talking over the top of it now, or just saying our thoughts. But we'll just we'll see what you think about it now. Initially, of course, I didn't really know what this sound was. It's the duct tape being pulled up. It is very... That freaked me out when I first saw it. It almost sounds like he's breathing underneath it as well. We don't know if he's dead or what. But your secret friend. Who? Haven't a clue. Let's play a game. Just me and you. Yeah, look. If you look at that, you can see Let's play a game. Here. So this is what he's reading out. Jeffrey Wright's reading this out. It says, but you can see under there's like those cryptic clues, and he's reading out a riddle. You know, it rhymes, and it's a mystery, and it is addressed to the Batman. And I'm guessing there's like a Reddit somewhere that's already analyze all this. If anyone go down that, if anyone's listening to this, my favourite podcast is The Weekly Planet, and also Mr. Sunday Movies. He's got his own YouTube channel, and after this podcast is over, I'm actually going to force you to watch it, Ty, basically, because I love their dynamic and analysis of this. But here's the first. We had seen, I think, before this trailer, we had seen the Batman before, but that is your first look at the new Batman. Yeah, very first look at him. What do you think? He looks weirder. He looks weirder? Yeah. Well, I think every time you see a new Batman suit, it does look different and weird. He's not. I think you're right. He's not as big. Like no. To be fair, he looks big. He looks big there. But that's obviously if he's worked out and the suit's big up. In terms of like, he hasn't got like big wide shoulders. Yeah, to, like, or like a wide like back. Yeah. I in terms of the suit, I initially didn't like it. The suit's growing on me, so hopefully that will probably do the same for you. The thing that I still can't get over is the helmet. I think the helmet looks very stupid. It looks like cheap plastic. It looks like it's from the 1940s. Yeah. It just looks really weird. You couldn't tell that was Robert Pattison as well. If I haven't told you, you wouldn't tell from this shot. Yeah. Well, Isn't that the idea of the mask, though? Obviously, yeah. But I think with Chris, there's, well, actually, I say that. I haven't looked at them, but do a good job of that. I'll just carry on with the trailer here. Is that the Riddler guy?
No. What, that big guy with
that
the
guy,
big?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
No,
that's
guy.
Robert Pattison. Yeah. Oh, I think he's got the makeup around his eyes from where the bat.
Okay. Yeah.
It's definitely Robert Pattison.
You're becoming quite a celebrity.
The voice you hear there is the voice of Alfred, his butler.
Alfred, yeah.
That's played by Andy Serkis. You'll know who Andy Serkis is. He does a lot of motion capture stuff. He's world renowned for it, but he is a fantastic actor as well. He's been in the MCU. You recognise him? He played Gollum in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
No, you say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been in lots of stuff. We don't see him in the trailer actually.
Yeah.
Why is he writing to you?
And here's a Catwoman.
Yeah.
She hasn't really got an outfit on. It's just that.
Who's playing?
I can't remember her name. We'll see when we go through the article. But
okay.
I think you'd recognise her. That nobody knows for certain who this is. We think, or I think it's Andy Serkis. No, I'm not Andy Serkis. Sorry, Colin Farrell. I think it's Colin Farrell in heavy prosthetic makeup because Colin Farrell has been cast as the Penguin.
The Penguin. I was just about to say.
And nobody knows
who this
looks
guy
like is. We don't know. We'll find out.
Penguin from like the 2004. Is it 2004 when they used to make the Batman cartoons?
The cartoon. Oh, did you watch them? I haven't actually seen them.
Oh, so that's how the Penguin kind of looks like. The long pointy nose, pointy chin.
Yeah, and obviously Colin Farrell was a skinny guy and the Penguin's usually a short, fat guy. So.
Yeah.
And that kind of sentence there, which is like, if you're justice, please don't lie. That's against, obviously, Batman is a vigilante.
Yeah.
And the villains in this taking opposed to Batman's stance rather than just being villains. You know, they're against. This guy's obviously against the Batman.
Yeah.
By saying, you know, don't lie or whatever he finds fault with the Batman, because he's taken the position of being authority in Gotham.
I like that they've changed like the narrative in the movies like that, rather than, you know, the good guy and the bad guy.
Well, of course,
like,
yeah.
You look at the good guy in a Batman. You know.
Well, Batman's always been obviously.
He's not really a good guy, is he? Because he's just vigilante justice.
He's been on the line of you know, good and bad.
And who's him to decide, like, you know? So
yeah.
But I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah,
now.
It's just when, like, in Gotham, you know, in the comics as well, with Batman, it's like Gotham is so corrupt that the good guys, like the police that we would associate in the real world, they're not the good guys, apart from Jim Gordon, who's played by Jeffrey Wright in this, and a select few people that want to clean Gotham up. So, yeah.
What is the price for your blind eye?
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
You know what? At least he's better at the stunt and the fighting stunt.
Than who?
Christian Bale.
What, you thought, was he bad?
He was bad. It's so choreographed. I hated it. I hate like all the fight scenes.
I can't.
If you remember when he just fought, just before Bane sent him away to the prison, they had like a fight, and I hate that scene every time.
Really?
It's just
I like Bane's speech in it though.
I like Bane's speech, but the fight in itself, and it just didn't seem natural. It just didn't seem.
Fair enough. I haven't actually focused on that before, so maybe that'll be something. I also love they put this scene in. People were saying, right, Robert Pattison he's not a big guy. Like, he's a skinny guy. He's a skinny, like, whatever. How is he going to do damage? And then they just put this scene in of him absolutely thwacking this guy. Way too many punches. Punches are overthrown as well. Like, when the punch he throws to put him to the ground, it's like all of his weight is in that punch. And then two more just for good luck. Like, we're watching it again. But it is it's quick as well, so it's like you know, if you're talking about choreographed fighting, this is so quick that if you were the thug here, you couldn't do anything about that. You know, you twist his arm and the punches are so quick that it's not you know, to me it seems really good and raw.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes up for him not being big.
Yeah, well, they want to show that actually. Yeah. Oh, what, you've been saying he's skinny? Well, we're just going to put a trailer in here of him beating the living hell out of this one guy.
I'm vengeance.
New Batmobile as well. It looks very much like an old, you know. You think about Christian Bale's Christian Bale's Batmobile is like a tank from the army.
Yeah.
This is
very old school.
Yeah, old school. You can see it's all exposed with the engine, and it's very stylistic. Almost looks like an old sports car.
There are flames underneath the bonnet.
Under the bonnet? No, I think that might... Oh, wow. I hadn't seen it before.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah, I know. If people are listening to the podcast, by the way, sorry, you can't see the visual. We are just watching the trailer. If you're listening on YouTube, I'll try and remember to put images up, but I probably can't be asked, to be fair. So just watch the trailer. But yeah, that's something I hadn't seen before. And then the logo at the end is very cartoony, isn't it? Like,
you know, just before we started this, I said that the title of it is very boring. I'll take that back.
You take that back.
Just
yeah, you better eat your words.
Seeing that. Okay, yeah. It's not that dry anymore.
Yeah, I love this trailer. There's also the question marks of the twos when it comes to indicating again towards the Riddler. Yeah, I love that. I love that trailer so much. I also am very looking forward to the fact that it's a mystery. I love clever writing. I love Stephen Moffat. I love that kind of Sherlock. I don't know if you've seen Sherlock, but I love that very clever writing where there's not necessarily a twist. There doesn't have to be a twist and everything, but clever writing. And I hope that this mystery is something that's clever and it takes a lot to sort out.
I just hate it when I go to see a film. This is why I don't like watching films so long.
I'm going to change that, by the way. That's
at the start of a film, you kind of can predict what's going to happen at the end. I feel like most of the films that I do end up watching, like the whole film and like enjoying it, I can't do that.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. But no, right, we're just going to go through an article here by Eric Diaz. It's for for Nerdist, and I'll link it in the description below. But it opens up by saying it's been 8 years since the last solo Batman outing. Of course, that is Dark Knight Rises, which is what you've watched, Christian Bale. Between then, we have had a whole new Batman of Ben Affleck, and he's been in a number of films. But coming in the fall, that's autumn for people who speak English, of 2021, there's going to be a new Batman film called The Batman. And here's everything we know coming up to it. Now, the first thing that comes up is Matt Reeves' tweet. Matt Reeves is the director, by the way. And it says last day. So that indicates to me that it's finished filming.
March 13th.
2021.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this says that... Oh, so basically it's just saying that it was production was shut down because of COVID-19. That was in March. There's a picture about the director. So the director, he says that initially Ben Affleck was meant to stay in the Batman role, and he was also going to direct it and be heavily involved, I think, in the writing. But Ben Affleck left, and the new director, who is... can't remember his name, Matt Reeves. Is it Matt Reeves? Yeah, Matt Reeves took over. He's done stuff like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes. The main character in the Planet of the Apes, the main ape, I don't know if you've seen this, he's played by Andy Serkis. Okay. So motion capture, which might have influenced why he wanted Andy Serkis to come in as Alfred in this Batman. So it says here, when they released that DC trailer, 25 to 30% of the movie had been shot so far, so that obviously, not much has been going on.
That's a really good thriller for just 25 to 30%.
Such a good, such a good trailer. Obviously, main character of Batman is played by Robert Pattison, former Twilight star. He's going to be a younger Batman. Now, obviously, Batman is two characters. He's the Dark Knight, but he's also Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And Robert Pattison as a billionaire playboy fits that perfectly. He looks like, a young, handsome billionaire playboy, whatever. And interestingly, you were talking about the Batman animated series earlier. Yeah. The voiceover for that, I can't remember who he is. Most people will say that he's the best voice of Batman. He said that he puts on a voice when he's playing Bruce Wayne and speaks in his normal voice when he's being Batman.
Oh.
So that the character of Bruce Wayne is fake and Batman is real, which is just something nice, whatever.
Okay.
with that. Moving on. So Alfred, it was announced that Andy Serkis, who's been in the MCU, Lord of the Rings, Planet of the Apes, and Star Wars, will be joining Bruce Wayne in Wayne Manor as Alfred. The role of Penguin is apparently going to Colin Farrell. So obviously Colin Farrell, it says here he's much sexier and dapper than the Penguins are usually portrayed as, but I love Colin Farrell. I love him in those kind of parts, especially you think about The Gentleman, when he's not the film The Gentleman. Have you seen it with Matthew McConaughey? You need to watch that. He's fantastic in that. I'm going to mispronounce your name, but Paul Dano, I know who you are. He's playing the Riddler, and obviously the trailer hints that the Riddler is going to be the main villain in it.
Is that the Riddler?
That's one image of the Riddler. You might have seen Jim Carrey when he played the Riddler in an older Batman movie.
Yeah, I remember that character from the cartoons there.
Yeah. Why have you seen? What did you remember from him, if anything?
You're asking me to go back over. I honestly cannot remember. But I remember seeing him.
Yeah. Just getting up images of the Riddler in the animated series. What, him? Ah, yeah, that looks very much similar. So, yeah. You asked who was playing Catwoman. It's Selena Kyle. I recognise her. I can't picture where she's been in. Incidentally, this article says that she played Catwoman in the Lego Batman movie. So obviously the voice of her is that, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And then finally, Jeffrey Wright, my boy, who's one of my favourite characters in one of my favourite TV series, is Westworld. He's playing James Gordon. Yeah, I love that guy. I think he's fantastic.
I think he might. Well, I've never seen this guy acting before, but I didn't like the last guy that played Gordon in The Dark Knight Rises.
You don't like Gary Oldman?
I really didn't like him.
Wow, that is controversial. Gary Oldman is a great British actor who's been in a lot of things. I think he was great, and he's very underrated as an actor as well. So the subtitle here is "Who Will the Villains Be?" This is actually a comic panel from a Batman comic called The Long Halloween, and in The Long Halloween it's a mystery. I won't spoil the ending because I won't spoil it at all because it's very twisty, turny comic, but a lot of villains come into it. As you can see here, you've got the Joker, Penguin, Poison Ivy, Catwoman. Villains come into it. So if we already know the Penguin, Catwoman, and the Riddler are going to be in this. So who do we know that's going to potentially come up? Again, there's plenty of Batman villains that could come into it. It says, what will the Batman be about? So, it says here that given that the film is a noir-style mystery, many fans think it will be an adaptation of, or at least be inspired by, the comic book series The Long Halloween, which is a 13-part comic book, Batman comic series. There's also, it doesn't say up here, but I think that there's plans to be a TV show which is based in this universe, which is going to flesh out the universe. I don't know if it's coming out before or after. I imagine after, but
I would very much love a TV show.
It's great when you can just expand the universe as well. You know, the budget won't be as big, obviously, but and I think I remember seeing it's about HBO. Again, it's saying more about it be a detective story. There's a mystery, but it will also be an incredibly personal story. We've got the new Batmobile. There's more images coming up here. You can see it is it's almost like a Mustang kind of.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that like a converted kind of 1960s Mustang?
Well, who knows? It is set in the modern day, we're pretty sure. So that is quite an old-fashioned looking car, but it does look very awesome. It doesn't look like it'd be very combat ready, does it? You think you compare it to the?
Yeah, if you think of like a modern day Bruce Wayne, he would buy like an old car and convert it into his Batmobile, wouldn't he?
No, I'm saying
and
is
like
that
combat ready. Okay,
it looks like if you just saw that around the road, it looks like you could throw a twig in that engine thing and it's gonna like stick in the spools of a bicycle tire. But no, it'll almost certainly be buffed up. What people have these days, bulletproof windscreen, and it's just photos from set. So yeah, when is it coming out? So it says it was originally come out on June 21st, 2021. However, it's moved back to October 1st, 2021. So we haven't got long to go. And I'm very much looking forward to it. So final thoughts from you, Ty, initially and then coming into this.
Initially, from the thriller, I'm really looking forward to this. Really, I know I haven't seen much of this Batman, but I think I will now go and rewatch. Did you say there was like 4 or 5 that I've missed?
Yeah, I think we'll watch them, and we might put our reactions up to our discussions of them up afterwards. But you haven't watched Batman Begins, which is the first of the trilogy you watch, and then there's also a lot of DC films. We don't necessarily have to watch them, and of course, none of them influence this new film because this is a brand new universe.
Okay. So
a reboot of the franchise. So
okay. So yeah, with that in mind, then I think I'm just looking forward to this.
I think it'll be sick. Anything else you want to say?
No.
Right, so thank you for listening to our podcast. I hope you found it entertaining. If so, please feel free to subscribe and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever it is you're listening. Hopefully we can get some, it really does help because hopefully we can get some traction, get people to listen to our young podcast. Next episode will be a short one. We don't actually know what we're going to be talking about yet. Maybe it'll be on Arsenal's potential takeover, but that will be a short one because currently there's nothing coming out. Might be discussion on the Champions League matches that are coming on this evening. Yep. Maybe it'll be more on games or movies or whatever. As I try and convert you into a movie guy. I think people will be interested to hear that actually. Someone who's not into movies talking with someone who lives and breathes movies. Hopefully, I can convince you, and by showing you some good films.
Listing off actors, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, right. I look when I can. It's like, how do you not know who Andy Serkis is, bro? I don't know. I forget that people aren't as obsessed as I am, so hopefully I can change that. You can follow us on or contact us on our social media accounts. Twitter is at @s_bandwagon. Instagram is just where's the bandwagon. And I'll be uploading clips of the podcasts to our YouTube channel, so you can check that out, subscribe and share and all that lovely stuff. So yeah, catch you next time. See you later. Bye.
Bye.